Good evening and welcome to another edition of the McGraw Report. I'm Harry McGraw, your host, and this is our vaccine edition of the McGraw Report for 2020. And I was trying to think of some music I could play for this, so let me see. Only thing I could think of is this, because this virus is out of control. It's the McGraw Report, the vaccine edition. I'm Harry McGraw, your host. And we're waiting on a vaccine for this coronavirus.
You want to tell me what this is all about?
I wish I could tell you what it was all about. Wear your mask, people. Wear your mask. I know it's crazy out here, but you gotta wear your mask, okay? It's just one of those situations where we don't know enough about it. And what we do know to save our lives is social distancing, which is 6 to 10 feet apart, no large crowds. Always wear your mask when you're around people in public as a courtesy. Just do it. As you probably know already, it's been mandated in many places throughout the country. You can't go in there without a mask. You can't go to the grocery store. You can't go to basic places like small restaurants to pick up and go, Walmarts, places that service us, Home Depot. You can't go in these places without masks. It's just a rule now. And until they come up with a vaccine to defeat the virus, I think this is about the best chance that we have to stay alive and try to survive it. Now I got my good friend Valarie Jeffries going to chime in on this one to talk a little bit about the virus and the vaccine and what's going on. So let me see if I can get her in here. Hey, Valarie. Valarie, can you see me? Hey, Valarie. I can't see you. Can you hear me?
Hi, Harry. Can you see me now?
No, I can't see you. Where are you?
Oh, let me
see. I gotta introduce you, but I want to make sure they can see your pretty face before I do it.
Thank you. Let me leave and come back in case I didn't accept the video. I don't see it as an option.
Okay. Well, we're going to have Valarie Jeffries here in a minute. She's going to chime in. She's one of my Phillips alumni graduates. So, I'm always excited to have someone from my old high school, Wendell Phillips High School. She's part of the Hall of Fame committee and just a dear friend of me. And we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on, whenever she gets back. But anyway, when it comes to this vaccine, we're looking maybe at mid 2021. Okay, here she is. She's gonna try again. Let's see if we can get her. Are you there?
Yes, I am here. This is very odd because you can usually always see my video. Let me see here.
You sure? I can't see you.
No, my video is not on. Did you allow for video? Well,
Yes,
let's
I
see here.
did.
Oh, I got it now. I got it. Start video.
There you go. There she is. Hey,
Hi, how are you, Harry?
Valarie, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Is it
Let me,
just the two of us, or?
yeah, let me introduce you to my audience. This is Valarie Jeffries, one of my Wildcat alumni buddies, here to help me out on the McGraw Report today. How you doing, Valarie? Good to see you.
I'm doing well and feeling very blessed, very
Yes.
grateful to
Yes.
be here, and thank you so much for inviting me.
Well, this is a real treat for me. You know, we hadn't seen each other in a long time, so it's so nice to
I
actually talk
know.
to you, you know, in spite of everything that's been going on, you know. So I'm
Yeah.
so glad that you took the time out to join me and talk a little bit about what's been going on in 2020 here with this vaccine that they got coming up. You know, have you heard anything about
Yes,
the
that's very
vaccine?
interesting.
Because
Yes,
I heard that they got something that they're trying to roll out in mid 2021. Have you heard anything about that?
well, I have heard that Johnson and Johnson, uh, they have the one-shot vaccine. There are two others, Pfizer and another company that escapes me, that are developing vaccines. And and I'm a Fauci girl, and I really
That's
believe
right.
in the sciences, and I really trust the scientists and the people who have done this for years, and the Food and Drug Administration, and um, the CDC is has a date of December of this year for a
Okay.
vaccine, and some elected officials are trying to rush it before November 3rd as an
For the
election
election.
tool.
Yeah.
But life is not an election tool. And so it's very important that this is thoroughly tested, because there are different syndromes and diseases that can result. You want to get cured of COVID, but you don't want to have such a quality of life that is so bad as a result of trying to take a vaccine. I do believe that for those whose lives are on the line and nothing else is working, to try something sooner. But for the general population, uh, as a regular vaccine that is approved for the people, I want it to be
Yeah.
thoroughly vetted and approved, thoroughly
Yeah.
tested as
You
well.
know, it's kind of sad to see the whole process get politicized the way it's been, because so many people have died. You know, we're over 200,000 deaths in the United States right now.
Yeah.
And, you know, Dr. Sanjay Gupta, he said that 80 to 90% of those deaths could have been avoided if they'd have rolled out the mass program that they had initially thought about doing back in March, you know, with the post office. But they
Right.
scrapped it. You know, they just scrapped the whole idea because they thought that it might cause panic. But, you know, I think that was a bad idea to do that. I mean, there was a lot of things we could have did to avoid the high numbers that we're seeing right now.
Oh yes, most definitely. Uh, and these numbers could, like you said, could have been greatly reduced, because the report came out from China in December of 2019. So this was known. President Obama had prepared a package, and President Bush actually was reading a book and learned about the pandemic.
Really?
And the pandemics come about every 100 years. And so the last one was when my grandmother was born in 1918 with that swine flu.
Yeah.
And so he knew something could happen soon. And he took it very seriously, got his staff together, discussed it. They prepared a plan. And
Right.
they shared their plan with President Obama,
Yeah, and that
who
worked
is
out great when the
supposedly,
Ebola virus
yes,
came. It worked out great.
right, yes, exactly. So he was prepared. That administration was prepared and took it seriously, took the lives of the American people seriously. And then, but I heard that those were thrown out, discarded, because President Obama's administration prepared a pandemic package for the current administration,
Yeah,
the Trump administration.
right.
That's a good thing.
Hmm.
The Trump administration, and
I say it
but
like that too, you know.
they disregarded it. They have defunded the CDC, And those are things that should not be politicized because lives are at stake. My mother lost her best friend of 47 years because of COVID.
Yeah.
And the first person who died in Illinois, I went to school with her brother. With
Right.
the university, I used to pass their house on my way to grammar school, and I went to college with her brother, and then I worked with him. So when I saw that name, and it's a unique name, I was like, I knew
You knew who
that
that was.
that must be
Mhm.
related. And they thought she was ill because she was normally ill. They thought she was having a bad asthma attack. So the family rallied around her to take care of her, and several of them got COVID, and another family member died. So this is very serious. I also know people who have survived it, people who thought they were going to die. And I just think that my mother's friend probably could have made it if somebody could have been whispering in her ear, you're doing better, you're fighting it. Because they thought she would die the day she came in. The
Yep.
30 days, she lasted 30 days. So this vaccine is very, very important. Um,
Yeah.
and um, and can help a lot of people. But we have to take things seriously. Meanwhile, do what we're supposed to help reduce the spread of this deadly coronavirus 19.
Absolutely, Barry. And you know, that death toll is more than the Vietnam War and Korean Wars combined, you know, the number of people that's dead from coronavirus.
Mhm.
So we have really seen a major toll on our society from this. And this is the time to listen to the science. Like I love Dr. Fauci. He's a straight shooter. I
Yeah.
understand it when he talks. It makes sense to me. When they started talking about herd immunity, and one of these senators, I think that was the guy with the curly hair. I can't remember his name, but this guy started talking about 22% is herd immunity, and he quickly checked that. You know, I think that
And
was Rand Paul. Rand Paul said something.
Paul Rand or Rand
Yeah,
Paul,
yeah.
yeah.
Rand
Okay.
Paul, yeah.
Yeah.
He started talking like 22% was going to be herd immunity. And he was like, hey, I don't know where you got that from, but that's nowhere near herd immunity. So we need to
Exactly.
take these politicians out of the mix and just really deal with the science on this. I think that that's the main way to do it. Now, you know, they started doing tests for how they're going to roll this out, this vaccine. You know, they have the first wave of immunization supposed to cover about 20 million Americans, you know, what they consider essential workers, you know, frontline health workers, police, firefighters, paramedics, you know, people like that. And then they have, you know, kind of a phased in effect for the rest of the country. Do you fall in the essential worker category? I don't know. I think you work more in IT, right?
Yes, I'm a manager of information technology, and I'm blessed to work from home.
Oh,
And I'm blessed to have a firm that for March 16th said, as of March 16th, they told us the Friday before, March 13th, they said, we are having everyone work from home, not just
100%.
our, pardon? Yeah,
100% of
everyone in the entire
in the whole
company.
company.
Yes, and so I have staff over in the UK work from home. It applied across country. Right? There was very, very few people who had to go in. Some of the individuals from our service desk that helped to support the different systems because people had to come in with the computers. I had a new employee starting on Monday, March 16th, and
Wow.
HR was like, I got a call
So
the
worst
afternoon.
date, the worst
We were
start
in the
date I've
office.
ever
I was
heard.
like, no, this person has left their job, their previous job, to come here. I said, we're IT professionals. If we can get him a computer, I can have him up and running. And they did a fabulous job where they got him up and he was up and running on day two because I could not be in the UK.
Yeah,
One of
you
the
had to
managers,
make the
one of
adjustment on
the
the
managers,
fly. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah, right. My manager met him, made sure he got his laptop, and even took him to lunch. I didn't even know he had done all
Wow.
that. I had an acclimation plan with buddies for him to help get up and running, and so that started. But I've actually been away from the office since March 9th because my mother had surgery.
Mm-hmm.
Just the grace of God, the week before all that was done, and so on March 16th, I was already working from home. Plus, we usually work from
Mm-hmm.
home on Fridays anyhow.
Yeah.
So I was very concerned because we have a new environment where I no longer have an office as a manager. but we have like agile space where it's like a loft environment, and your space is probably, only so far, like a little table, and you've got
Yeah.
everything you need, but we don't have the traditional desk anymore with the partitions or anything like that, or our offices, because we were trying to work closer together to get things done quickly. And while, I always have to adapt. You have to adapt if you want to stay on board. But
Right.
I wanted to adapt to that, of course. But in the back of my mind, I remember saying when we first had the idea, if anything happens to a person and they
Just
get
in
really
case, huh?
sick, we could all we'd have to be very, very
This could be
careful.
a big
So
problem. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So I don't know if they're reevaluating our environments, but that's a common thing across the country. I want to turn
Yeah.
out this light behind me. I'm terribly sorry.
That's okay. You're fine. You're fine. You don't have to do anything. You're
Okay.
all right. Well, let
That
me
was
just let my
interference.
audience know this is Valarie Jeffries, my Wendell Phillips High School buddy, joining me on the McGraw Report. We're talking about the vaccine edition, 2020 McGraw Report. And I couldn't be happier to have my friend Val on the line talking about this very important subject, things that we really have to make adjustments on. Now, I have seen some new protocols that they've been putting in place as well. Out at the airport, they have stations for international travel where you can stand up and get a ready test for COVID, get the results in 5 minutes right there before you board. So this is like that change that we had to deal with back in September 11, when we had to start going through the metal detectors and taking our shoes off. Remember when that was just so inconvenient? Now they're going to actually do a bacteria test on you traveling to keep the airlines going. How you feel about all that change that's going on there? Have you mentally adjusted?
All the security and
yeah. It's about security,
yeah.
but more than anything. But safety is number one. I think everybody's kind of considering that, right? So
right. And the airplanes, those are confined vehicles. You're sitting very close to people. And right now, they say that the airlines have said that those are one of the most safest places now because of all of the measures they put in place, all the different filters, everything to try to keep the environment clean. And so I haven't traveled. I was scheduled to go back to Europe in June, but I was not flying because, back in the day, we would hear about a sneeze staying in the air on the airplane where it can escape. So the airplanes have made a lot of measures. And I think that the test is interesting, but I think it's a good idea. I've had 2 tests. I had a test initially because you still have to go to the grocery store. I have to protect my mother. I'm the primary caretaker for her. And so I want to make sure that when that I do not give anything to her. So I had the test through the nostril. And then once I went to a funeral, and I thought I could just zoom right through, and I didn't know there was a line. It was a little different. And I got very nervous, and I took another test. And that one, the first one, they administered like with the airport, and the second one I had to do myself. And so, yes, and so fortunately both were negative. It's some frightening times because it's airborne.
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing. I know one of my dear friends passed recently, Dr. Leon Finney, and his body is laying in state at his church right now for visitation. And then tomorrow he'll probably have his funeral over at Leaks and Sons. But I'm just going to go and sign the book and give my best to the family and leave. I'm not going to hang out because I know a lot of people love Dr. Finney and a lot of people respected him. But when it comes to being around too many people right now, I'm very cautious. I don't take as many chances with that as I used to. So I try to stay as far away as I can, but still try to interact with people. Uh, before before I let you go, I want to make sure that I chime this in. This is Miss Valarie Jeffries on the line with me on the McGraw Report. Miss Valarie Jeffries is a Wendell Phillips High alumni, part of the Hall of Fame community.
82.
82, that's my class. And just one of my dear, dear friends that I've been talking to for years, and just, so proud of all the work that you've been doing in your career. And I just really want to thank you so much for coming on the show. Now, they also talked about this one thing they're going to do with this vaccine, Valarie. They're going to track people in real time. They're talking about the first people that get vaccinated are going to get like daily emails and text messages from the first time they get their shot for about a week or two, just to see how they feeling. And then after that, they'll get text messages weekly for about a month and a half. So what they're trying to do is roll something out that has the potential to be a game changer, but they're not still 100% sure. They got to still watch and see how the people react to it. So how soon do you think?
And even with the study with Johnson.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking I'm gonna wait a minute. I'm just gonna try to wait till I see more positive results first before I take it. But it's a hard sell for many Blacks to take this vaccine. We've been burned before when it comes to experimental treatments.
Yeah, the Tuskegee, all the different. Yeah, exactly. The syphilis and everything being injected. Right now, I know Johnson & Johnson has 60,000 people that are part of their study. I am not going to take it right away. I'm going to wait a quarter. Let me see how it goes.
Right.
I pray that I do not have to take it. And so I think it is very important. I also don't take the pneumonia vaccine. I don't take the flu vaccine. I have nothing against them. It's just that I don't regularly, I don't get the flu and things like that. So I said, but I know as I get older, I'm going to have to take these on an annual basis and to be more careful. But right now, it's been working well for me, being cautious and trying to take care of myself. With this COVID, it does not discriminate. Even though there are a lot of Black people who are affected, it still does not discriminate. Children have died. Every ethnicity has passed away due to this virus. And so I decided to look at our figures. We have 328 million people as of 2019 in the United States. And so we say 200,000 people have passed. So a lot of people are not taking this as seriously as they should. And that's why it's taking so long for things to calm down. And with it getting colder and more people going inside, because they said the chances of being infected outside are less. But still, when I went on my walk last night, I had on my mask because you're breathing hard. Others are breathing hard as they're jogging past you or just being out in the environment. So I just wear a light mask. Yeah, I wear this light mask. And so I am going to this light mask. I have the gloves on. That's what I wear to the store. Wait, I got this mask. I got
N95. Huh? You got the number one.
I've got a whole slew of cloth masks that I have, but I carry this mask with me, and I read it daily because anything could happen. So, but I will probably get the vaccine one day, but I'm going to wait and see the effects. I really think if I can go 6 months or more without getting the vaccine, then I can really see how it's doing on other people. But if it ever gets to the point where I need a vaccine or it becomes clear this is okay, then I think that this is a vaccine that is worth giving a try once we're okay. But they say it may take until next July before it can get through all the people. When we think about it, that's 328.2 million people as of 2019 in the
Yeah.
USA, and worldwide we have over 7.5 billion people
Right.
as of 2018. So just in Chicago alone, what is it? I keep seeing what's around 3 million or more. And then
Yeah.
we got Chicago land, it's probably 8 million. But we have to really, that's a lot of people who have to get this vaccine. That's a lot of people who have to support it. Like you said, they're going to call and follow up. So they can only give this out so many at a time because of the follow-up, I would think, that is required.
Yeah.
I am going to get it one day because this is one that I think, okay, I haven't had the flu, I haven't had pneumonia, all that, thank
Well,
God.
you never
But
know.
this
You know,
vaccine, this
we'll see.
COVID.
We'll see. You know, that one might be right moving up on the list if it works.
Yes,
So
yes,
I
especially
just
since I
want to.
want
I
to go
just
to
want
church
to.
one day.
I just want to
Want to
thank
go
you,
back to church.
Valerie. I want to thank you so
Okay.
much for
Oh,
coming
thank
on the
you.
show. I appreciate you so much. This is Valarie Jeffries from Wendell Phillips High School, my alumni on the McGraw Report. And I want to thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. We'll talk to you next time on the McGraw Report. Take care, Val.
Okay, thank you. Be blessed and be safe.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. Don't forget your lights on.
Don't forget it. Got my mask right here.